Hello, welcome to my adult coloring world. I first discovered the color when I first noticed the coloring, adult coloring, at my local bookstore. I laughed. Yeah, I did. I laughed. I laughed because I thought, well, what are we going to be doing next? But then back in October 2015, I was looking for a new hobby, and I uh, and I couldn't find anything. So when I received the flyer from Michael's, my local store, Michael's, um, and they were advertising this book, Lost Ocean by Johanna Basford, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I should give that a try. So I went to the store and I looked through it, and I really liked the detail and the drawing she did, and so I decided to buy it. And well, I've been coloring since then. Of course, when my son found out I was coloring, his reaction was the same as me. He laughed. Yeah, he still laughs when I mention it, but that's all right. Uh, I think he just does that now just for fun. I'm not the kind of person to start at the beginning and color every page. I don't do that. My daughter does that. Because when she was here for the holidays, she decided, because she has a artist experience herself, and so she decided that she was going to buy the Lost Ocean too, and we could color together, which that was a lot of fun. And she started from the cover, and she did such a great job that she actually got me to do one of the first pages in Enchanted Forest, also by Johanna Basford, that you'll see next. Um, and But I still don't do that. I'm not the first page kind of person. I just go through the book, pick a page, and start coloring. Just like I don't plan my colors. I don't do a coloring scheme. I just pick a spot on a page to start with one color, and I just let the colors talk to me and tell me what to put on next. So far, I'm happy with all my drawings, my all my colored pages. Some I do a better job than others. Well, I think I do a better job now after all these months. But it's a coloring book. I do it for fun, for stress relief, and just because I really enjoy doing this. Now, I do remember my very first coloring page, because right now I'm just showing you my first 3 books that I've colored. But since then, I have accumulated over 20 books so far, and some of those were given to me. I didn't buy them all. My daughter, back in the holidays, bought me a bunch of them. And then they had a sale at AC Moore's, 5 for $10. So she bought me some of those too. So I have a lot of coloring books. My biggest decision now is trying to decide which coloring book to color next. Now, as you see, I have a piece of tracing paper between my colored pages. I use these both on the finished pages and the ones that I'm working on. And the reason is because, well, I'm done with this guy. I used all colored pencils. But, when I was coloring this side, this page, I didn't want the the pigments from the pencil to get into this page in case I decided to color it, which, as you can see, I did. So anyway, so this was my first color as an adult kind of uh, thing, and I was impressed. I could still color within the lines. I used bright colors, which is something you will see throughout all my pages, is that I always use bright colors. No matter how hard I try to use darker colors, I always end up with a bright finish, which it's okay. That's me. You know, I know I like bright colors, but I guess it shows in my work. So this one again, it's all pencils, colored pencils, and these were cheap pencils. I don't even know um, what kind they were. I think there was like a mixture of Crayola and some other cheap brand. Uh, Today I still use Crayola. Crayola is one of my favorite uh, brands to color with, which I'll go into it in more detail in another video. Now, as you can see in the background, I tried to mimic a light from the sun, you know, the rays, to light some areas more than others, but I did not do a very good job. Uh, some people do really great work out there. I mean, they do a fantastic work. I'm not one of those, but it doesn't matter because this is a coloring book. It's for fun for me. Now, this jellyfish here, again, you know, I use um, coloring pencils and markers, and on the background here I used or tried to use pastels. This one is actually a combination of oil pastels and soft pastels. I used the oil pastels first, and again I tried to mimic the ray thing, and it didn't work. And then I went back and went tried the soft pastels over it to see if I could salvage it, but it didn't do much good. Now, when you use soft pastels, they recommend that you spray it with a finish, so that, because as you know, with the soft pastel, it doesn't stick to the paper. It can come out loose, you know. Um, they suggest you use a finish, which I have, but I have not used it yet. Because you know, I haven't really done anything uh, that um, that I felt that I should go back and do it. And when you use that, you need to be outside anyway, and that probably some of the reason I haven't used. Will I use it for these? I don't know. I don't know if I'll go back to these. I guess it depends on what mood I'm in. Now, I'm not the type of person to start the page, then move on to the next one. I like to finish my pages. I don't rush my coloring. Uh, a page can take me days or just hours. Sometimes it'll take me a week, depending how much time I have to color, and that's okay. I do it. After all, I am doing it for stress relief and relaxation, I'm not on a contest by any means. So, and here I just did these little fishes because, as you can see, there's a lot of fishes in this page. But the way I justify it is every fishy that I did start coloring, I finished. So that's good enough for me. Let's see. Here's another one. Again, I tried with the background with the sun, but I was not very successful. Now in this one, I've used gel pens too. Besides the coloring pencils and the markers I use, because I don't know if you can see the sparkly things. And yeah, I like sparkles. Actually, as a matter of fact, I may start getting just sparkles to add to my finish work afterwards, instead of totally depending on gel pens for the sparkling stuff. I don't know. But, you know, again, it's bright and I like that. Now, these pages are double-sided, but they're pretty good. I haven't had any problems. Now, I would not use alcohol-based markers on these, of course, because I don't. I haven't tested my Sharpies on it, but I'm pretty sure it probably bleeds through. Uh, as it is, as you can see, my gel pens don't bleed or anything. This is really good paper. Um, I have had no problems with any of my markers. My markers mostly I use I use the Staedtler Tri Plus fine liners for my markers, and I do use Crayola water-based markers too. Like I said, Crayola is kind of one of my very favorite things. These jellyfish, I really like them. Now these guys are all just pencils, just coloring pencil in these guys. Maybe some marker there, I don't remember. I don't think so. I think these are just pencils. Now, as you can see on this page and this, I only did that one. I didn't finish those yet. But that's probably because that's when I started getting other books and on my next book, The Enchanted Forest. But I will go back and finish these guys because I really like that. I really enjoyed doing them. Yeah, no, I think that's it for this book. I believe that's it for this book. And like I said, I will go back to this book because I love this book. Another thing, as you probably know, if you've been doing this for, I always use cardstock between the page that you're about to color in the next page. So that if you do use a medium that bleeds, first of all, that way it won't bleed to the next page. But also, when using pencils, if you put more pressure on some pencils, it'll put an impression on the next page, and that way this will prevent that. And as you can see, I also use this to test my colors and stuff, and that's also good. This is The Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basford. This was her second book, and it was my second book that I bought. And this is the one that, because of my daughter doing such a great job with the first page, I decided on this one to go ahead and do the first page. And well, uh, it came out pretty nice. So I was happy with it. And this one, I do use pencils, gel pens, and markers, which is really, and I think I've said that before, what I use the most on most of my pages. Now, on this one, oh, okay, and this one, if you notice the background on the owl, that is oil pastel. And on this one, I really like the results of it. I did a good job, I believe. And again, coloring pencils, gel pens, and markers it's the rest of it. I don't know if you can see the sparkling of the gel pens. But I've enjoyed all my pages, really. I haven't had one that, well, that's not true. In another book, I messed it up and I kind of got frustrated and left it alone, but that's for another video. On this one, again, the background is, it's actually soft pastel. I'm actually getting it on my fingers as I'm going by. And I'll probably will, especially if I do decide to do this other page, I probably will go back and use that finish spray on it, so just so that I don't have to worry about smudges on my and again, I use coloring pencils, gel pens, and markers on that. Again, this book is the paper is pretty good, which is the case. So that's one of my babies. Probably heard the neighbor walk by. Again, this is soft pastel on the background. I don't know if you can see it because it's kind of light. But in this one, I am definitely not finished because I feel like it's too empty. So I'll probably end up trying my hand at drawing something on it or something, which I'm not really good at, or maybe even asking my daughter to do it for me and then I can finish it. I don't know. But it's definitely not finished, and I will probably go back and add some things, or even do like a scrapbook kind of thing, and just, you know, grab some other colored item from one of my other books and paste it in and make it look nicer, like I've seen some people do. I don't know, but I'm definitely going to come back to that one. Now this one, I really liked what I did with this one, because this one actually used acrylic paints on this. My daughter, for the holidays, decided that since I like bright colors and stuff, so that I'd really enjoy acrylic painting. I'm not really sure if she's right or not, because, mainly because I haven't used it a lot, so far I'm not really crazy about it, but I did like the result of this. I used the wash with the acrylic, mixed it with water and just did a wash of brown, and then afterwards I went over it with different shades of browns with my coloring pencils, and I really liked the result, because the plan was to have different shades of browns like a real tree has, and it's not what I envisioned, but it came up. I'm happy with it. I really am happy with it, because for a little while there I thought I had messed it up. And, the mushrooms, I really enjoyed doing that, and the little wormies. And it was just a fun picture to do. Will I put a background on it? I'm not sure if I will, because I really like it, and I don't want to mess it up. And then, let's see. And then here's my dragonfly, and I really liked it, the way it came out. And see, this was my attempt at darker colors, which, they're not pinks and purples, so, well, there's some purple, but like I said, it's my coloring book. I can do whatever I want with it, and it works for me. And that's all I've done on this one, and I'm sure I'll be back on this one. Now, before I forget, on all of 3 books, The Lost Ocean, Enchanted Forest, and The Secret Garden, something I really like about these books is Johanna Basford put some hidden items all over the pages, and she lists on all 3 books. There's a page where she lists all the items that you will find, and it tells you how many too. I don't know if it tells you how many of each you find. So that's pretty cool too. And the first book, the first of is The Secret Garden, and I'm really having a rough time with this camera. And again by Johanna Basford. And on this one, to be honest, I bought this one just because I had the other 2, so I figured, well, I really like her work, so why not get her collection? And so I've only done 1 page, because flowers, and even though I love flowers, and I love gardening, flowers were never my thing to color. I tend to go more for animals and things that have a lot of color in it. But I did again, my bright color, my purples and my pinks. But I really like it, and I used colored pencils, gel pens, and markers, and I like the markers. I use markers for like the really tight spots and really narrow areas. It's so much easier to color with the marker compared to a pencil or a gel pen for that matter. And so that's what I use my markers, and that's why I have the Staedtler Tri Plus fine liners. I also used, like I said before, Crayola markers, but those have a bigger tip, so I use those for, and I do have Sharpies that I have used in some books, which you see in my other videos, but on these books, I'm very particular on the two-sided books, because even if I don't think I'm gonna go, I'll ever do that other side of the page. You never know, because we change, our tastes change, our moods change. So in my double-sided books, I usually try not to use anything that bleeds, or keep the bleeding to the minimum. And well, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed my little coloring world, and if you liked it, I'd really appreciate if you pressed the like button, and and if you'd like to see some of my other videos coming up, I would appreciate it if you clicked on the subscription button. Until next time, you have a great day, and thank you for watching.